So in case you don't know who Chappell Roan is, she's basically an overnight pop sensation. She popped up out of nowhere like a jack in the box and started opening for people like Olivia Rodrigo, having dinner with people like Elton John, and basically becoming the next Taylor Swift. She's actually behind Taylor Swift right now on the Spotify playlist charts. And in the interview that I'm using for background footage, and also in a two-part TikTok video, she explains the struggles that she's having with becoming famous. Specifically that people are following her around, asking her for photos, and then getting mad when she doesn't give them photos, and basically getting stalked all over the place. And yes, I mean legitimate stalking. They're literally looking up where her sister works and going over there to harass her, at least from what she says in the interview, that they're harassing her family, and it's gotten to the point where she wants to quit. I want to take a little bit of a look at her response videos to all this happening, which I believe that she's handling extremely well, but there's people who don't believe that she's handling it well and that she's overreacting. In other words, Twitter Blue subscribers, because Twitter has to say something about everything. Twitter just has to have the worst takes about everything. You could end inflation, world hunger, and homelessness, and someone would still complain.
I need you to answer questions. Just answer my questions for a second. If you saw a random woman on the street, would you yell at her from the car window? Would you harass her in public? Would you go up to a random lady and say, "Can I get a photo with you?" And she's like, "No, what the fuck?" And then you get mad at this random lady? Would you be offended if she says no to your time because she has her own time? Would you stalk her family? Would you follow her around? Would you try to dissect her life and bully her online? This is a lady you don't know. And she doesn't know you at all. Would you assume that she's a good person? Assume she's a bad person? Would you assume everything you read about her online is true? I'm a random bitch. You're a random bitch. Just think about that for a second, okay?
Now, if you saw that video and you're a normal person, you probably have the same reaction that I did. She's absolutely right. You shouldn't be harassing her and her family just because she doesn't want to take a photo with you, someone who she does not know. I also feel like it's important to clarify that it's not like she's not taking photos with any of her fans. It's just that when she's getting harassed in public and she doesn't always feel like taking a photo, that she doesn't want to take photos all the time. She had to clarify this in another post because everyone thought she was being mean for some reason, which I feel like that's a brain dead take. If you don't want to take a photo, you don't have to. It's not like you're entitled to a photo.
I don't care that abuse and harassment, stalking, whatever, is a normal thing to do to people who are famous or a little famous, whatever. I don't care that it's normal. I don't care that this crazy type of behavior comes along with the job, the career field I've chosen. That does not make it okay. That doesn't make it normal. It doesn't mean I want it. It doesn't mean that I like it. I don't want whatever the fuck you think you're supposed to be entitled to whenever you see a celebrity. I don't give a fuck if you think it's selfish of me to say no for a photo or for your time or for a hug. That's not normal. That's weird. It's weird how people think that you know a person just because you see them online or you listen to the art they make. That's fucking weird.
I'm gonna stop the video right there because nothing more needs to be said. She said no. No means no. She doesn't have to do it. Now, Chappell did turn off the comments on that video and the video that was following up after it because I'm assuming she was getting a little bit of harassment, so people went back to the videos before that in order to comment their support for her. And she's getting a lot of support on TikTok where she posted that. Now, you may be wondering, what's the big deal? What's the situation? She's getting a lot of support. Well, let me show you this app called Twitter that makes everything small into a big deal. So here's subject number 1. We have Greg right here who posted this meme of Chappell Roan when she sees a fan. It's just a queen yelling from a show that I haven't seen personally. So if you know the show, comment it down below, but I don't know it. But basically, it's implying that she screams at her fans whenever they ask for photos, which I'm sure she's not doing. But I mean, if someone's constantly harassing you and threatening your family over a photo, I think that it's kind of warranted that you can scream at them a little bit. I mean, that would be my reaction when you're harassing my family over a photo. So Greg gets called out by one of his commenters saying that these aren't fans, these are people with parasocial relationships that need to respect a person's boundaries. Pretty reasonable stance if you ask me. And Greg decides to reply with this. A simple, I get you may be excited to see a celebrity in person and want a photo or hug, but I'm just not comfortable with that and would ask you to respect my privacy and boundaries would suffice. Rather than, you're a random bitch, I don't give a fuck if you want a photo, etc. I'm really just hoping that this post is a satire one because if not, Greg, you might be blown from stupid town with this one. Greg, the people who are harassing harassing her for photos are random bitches. Indeed, she doesn't know the people. She doesn't know their name, who they are, or what their intentions are, especially when she's seen that most of them have bad intentions by harassing her family. Of course that they're random to her. She doesn't know them. She doesn't know being famous comes with lots of sacrifice. Gracie, let me sit you down in the stupid chair real quick. Also, sorry for the background noise. There's a train passing by. But just because you're a celebrity doesn't mean you get the right to harass their entire bloodline. This is an extremely dangerous mindset to have because a lot of people who like to justify you can do this to that person because they have this amount of followers is generally dangerous. You are parasocially in a relationship with someone who doesn't know you. And we have seen cases throughout the years where this has literally ended with people losing their lives. There was a time like a little bit ago where this dude was pledging his life to an OnlyFans creator who didn't even know he existed and ended up taking out his whole family over this one girl who he's never even met. This girl is clearly not meant to be a pop star, and it's time for y'all to realize that. All of the worst takes that have ever been said in the world have come from a person who pays for Twitter. No offense to anyone who subs for Twitter Blue, but generally I've just noticed all the worst takes come from blue check mark accounts. I feel like it's time for people to understand that a creator of any sort does not owe you literally anything. From what I've seen, Chappell is very active in a lot of communities, but she might just be less active right now because of the harassment she's getting. I've also seen a few people delete their comments of comparing Chappell to Taylor Swift back when she was like 18 dealing with fame or something, saying that this is how you're supposed to handle fame at a young age, and it's Taylor Swift just acknowledging that everything is going to take her double the time to do everything because people are harassing her, and I have to say that is such a brain dead take. Taylor actually denounced a lot of those statements at a later age because she realized it was extremely creepy and it was just cope at the time, and people are actually breaking into her house. Do you know how crazy that is? Just because you wrote Bad Blood, now everyone's trying to break into your house. Also, sorry again for the audio issues. As I said, there's a train passing by and it's loud as ever, and now my neighbors are talking extremely loud. I had a comment on one of my earlier videos that I laughed at where someone said that because of my mic I sound like the nerd emoji, and yeah, that's true because I have to record in a certain way in order to not pick up any background noise from everything loud happening around me. The second I push the record button, the Avengers just start fighting in the background. But personally, I agree with Chappell because yes, you are a celebrity, but it doesn't mean that you have to, do everything for your fans that is humanly possible. Like, you don't have to take a photo with any of them if you don't want to, especially after the behavior they've been exhibiting towards you. Also, I want to take a second to say thank you to everyone who's been supporting me lately, and I appreciate every single one of you because you don't know how much it means to me whenever you guys like or subscribe to a video or even comment down below. If you have not done any of those things yet, then maybe you should go do them right now because I asked politely, please. But that is basically the main thing I wanted to talk about in this video. Please do not harass someone just because you're a fan of their work or whatever that may be, because in the end of the day, you're not going to go harass any other person just doing their job. Chappell is doing her job. You wouldn't go outside and be like, hey, yo, is that Jim the accountant? Woo, Jim, I like how you crushed those numbers. I got a photo with you, Jim. I need to flex on my Instagram. That just doesn't happen, and I hope it gets better for Chappell. But that's all I have for you in today's video. Don't forget to, do everything I just asked you to do before, and I hope you have a great day. See you in the next one. Later.